birthday, I was told I was going to Cambodia to make sure my cousin was safe.
Oh, she's ready.
I actually went to look for a teaching job. LAX to Taipei, and Taipei to Phnom Penh. When we first arrived in Cambodia, I thought we were Cambodian famous.
That's in the Mercedes, boys.
I prefer not to be in the video, so. Can't help everyone.
In Phnom Penh, it was insane. The way people lived and how busy it was and hectic. It was really crazy, but also very cool to see that type of life and culture.
I'm coming here to teach English. So I have to find a job.
Wat Nom is the center for the Khmer New Year's. Legend relates that a wealthy widow called Pen, grandmother Pen, found a large koki tree in the river. Inside the tree, she found 4 bronze statues of the Buddha. Pen constructed a small shrine on an artificial hill made by the people living in the village to protect the sacred statues. Eventually, this became a sacred site and a sanctuary where people would make blessings and pray. The way we would be transported was by tuk-tuk driver, which is like a cart that is pulled by a motorbike.
Like 1 o'clock. Thank you very much. How long you been doing this? A long time?
1 hour 60.
1 hour, 30? I mean, years. Have you been months?
Yeah, you change.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
The Royal Palace in Phnom Penh, Cambodia is a complex of buildings which serve as the royal residence of the King of Cambodia. The kings of Cambodia have occupied it since it was built in 1860s. The palace has always been a popular tourist attraction in Phnom Penh.
Oh, 2 birds, huh? I want a picture.
The Central Market is a large market constructed in 1937 in the shape of a dome with 4 arms branching out into the vast hallways with countless stalls of goods. Initial design and layouts are from French architect Louis Chauchon. Some of the kids would come up and ask to sell you bracelets. They would sell their bracelets or sell their stuff, and they'd take the money straight to some guy or some person, and he'd go buy himself some pack of cigarettes. The whole thing was just very horrible, and it was everywhere. There was so much going on, so it was just sad to see. Silk Island, just an hour's boat ride away, offers a unique opportunity to see traditional working silk weaving village. Our first stop at the Silk Island village was a setup for a wedding. They cook banana and wrap it in the banana leaf and save it for the wedding. This young girl had to run this machine for hours, and this is also where the whole family slept. Just makes you appreciate what you have that much more.
That one's cool.
The design.
Design the pattern. Yeah, the same.
And she does that all from there?
Yeah.
See, she's doing it right there. Hi.
Second stop at the Silk Island is where they breed the silkworm and make the silk string.
Here to here, the bigger like that.
In 25 days?
It takes the baby silkworms 25 days to turn into cocoon, which is then boiled and spun into a silk material.
On the inside, it's the one that's expensive.
Yeah, but expensive. Yeah, inside. You remember that. See, this cocoon is a yellow color. Only Cambodia cocoon are yellow, and another country white color.
Every why?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because the environment is, it's different.
Gotcha.
Their country like little cool, and Cambodia
Warmer.
yeah, warm and tropical.
Tropical.
Yeah, so you continue to that. 26 red in one to be a fine silk here. You can see you can cut here.
Wow,
Combined together.
much nicer than I touched the one
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. And here, see? It's spinning like that. 4D pattern the design like two peacock.
Oh, and there's a part right there. Oh, wow.
The Cambodian killing fields are where more than 1 million people were killed and buried by the Khmer Rouge regime during its rule of the country from 1975 to 1979. The mass killings are widely regarded as part of a broad state-sponsored genocide, the Cambodian genocide. Research estimates of total number of deaths resulting are 2.5 out of 8 million. The executed were buried in mass graves. In order to save ammunition, the executions were often carried out using poison, spades, or sharpened bamboo sticks. In some cases, the children and infants of the adults were killed by having their heads bashed against the trunks of chankriri trees, and they were thrown into the pits alongside their parents. The rationale was to stop them growing up and taking revenge for their parents' deaths. Khmer Rouge regime arrested and eventually executed almost everyone suspected of connections with the former government or with foreign governments, as well as professionals and intellectuals. After the killing fields, our tuk-tuk driver asked if we wanted to go to the shooting range. I said sure, but it was a lot more than we expected. So the next day we got on a small Turismo van and got sardine packed with a bunch of people. Unluckily, I had the last seat in the very back, and every time they slammed on the brake, the baggage packed at the top behind me would come crashing down on top of me, and I'd have to try and stack it back up for the 5-hour ride that we were in there. And the whole time it was bumping, and it was a horrible ride.
Here's my bungalow. It's not much. Totally different than how I was living before, that's for sure. No TVs, no nothing. A cool purple bed and a mosquito net. A little bathroom.
The worst, that toilet right there in the middle of the night had a frog jump out of it when I lifted the lid.
Wi-Fi is out at the moment. I have to go up to the lodge. Pretty view, I do enjoy it. It's kind of beautiful, like no other. That's Lexi's bungalow right there, where she be chilling.
Nature and just a different type of living, and just to enjoy it. But overall, my stay was alright. Busra Waterfall is a beautiful waterfall in Mondulkiri, Cambodia.
Middle of the river. Lexi's over there, washing the car in the river. Cousin, take my picture.
Senmonorom is the capital of Mondulkiri province, Cambodia. It is the only major town in Mondulkiri. The town has over 7,000 people.
That's a good size one, yeah?
The food was really good. Fresh fish with bamboo soup salsa.
Our chef.
After I was able to hang out with the elephant, getting on the elephant in the middle of the river was such an incredible experience. I loved it. Today we went trekking. which was basically hiking in the jungle, and we ended up staying overnight. Had a great time, everything was amazing. Maybe drank a little bit too much rice wine, but other than that, it was a really, really fun time. We saw many different waterfalls and we had a great time. The stars were so beautiful, the energy was so amazing. Being in the jungle overnight was one of the best times of my life. The next morning we woke up and we had a hike back out of the jungle. A lot of different experiences and things we got to see, and then we capped it off with playing with the elephants at the end. Everything was really amazing. Pine Arrow Guest House was where I ended up staying the rest of my time. It was very nice, and the family that runs it is always very kind. Mr. Van Lieu, who is a very amazing person, owned the mountain restaurant, and every day we would get food, and it is where we would hang out, and my cousin would also teach. He would let anyone that needed a place to stay or work there. This is Sola, one of the amazing kids Mr. Van Lieu takes care of, and my cousin with her dog. After meeting Mr. Van Lieu and being introduced to the village, we started to become like a family. And I started seeing all the kids and everything, and you just want to help. Came up with this idea of the volunteer school, which is a school that would continue to grow through volunteers and donations. If I could get one thing out to everyone, it's just to be thankful for everything we have, because it's not something we should feel we deserve, but because of many people that have amazing hearts, energy, souls, and work very hard to earn it is why we have what we have. And not everyone in the world has the same. They may be different or have different beliefs or customs, but they all have a heart, an energy, and a soul, and want for a better life for themselves and the people they love. Feeling like my work here is complete, I flew back to California.
Sometimes they got some fee, sometimes no fee.
Right.